Hey guys, welcome to the high ground. My name is Fabio and today is a special occasion because I actually got to take my equipment from the fire department home. Now, generally we're not allowed to take our stuff home. It stays at the fire department, and if there is an emergency, we all drive there, jump into our stuff and take it from there with horn and blue lights if necessary. But since we are moving our fire department, we had a small renovation. I have this stuff at home and thought I'd make a video about it and actually show you guys what we're working with. Now, maybe a few words in advance. I'm not a full-time firefighter. In Switzerland, most of the fire departments are actually organized as a militia. So I'm a militia firefighter, but that does not mean that we're not doing the actual deployments, but we are the guys that show up if somebody within our village calls the fire department. And only if there would be something exceptional. For example, we had an alert with chlorine gas, then we get a little bit of support, or we get support from the state fire department. I'm not a full-time firefighter, but I'm a certified firefighter. The equipment varies a little bit from department to department, but the main things will stay the same. And today I will just walk you through my personal gear. By the way, if you wonder why I'm currently wearing a long sleeve in the middle of summer, I've got a fresh tattoo on my forearm and I don't want to handle the dirty stuff with a fresh tattoo. So this is why I'm wearing a long sleeve. Before we go into, the heavy gear or the heavy clothes and the helmet and stuff, we of course have those ordinary fire department jackets, and this is what we generally use if we're doing something that is not an alert. So if we go out for exercises, we wear it sometimes. If we do something in a classroom, also if we're cleaning our cars or do maintenance stuff, this is the gear we're working for that. And generally for any alert, may it be fire, water, something with an accident in traffic, we are wearing this gear. And let's start the other way around from toe to helmet and have a look at the boots. So those are ordinary firefighter boots. They are pretty heavy and also pretty high. You can see they have laces on the left and right side with which you actually can adjust the sizing. And then when you need it, you just jump in there and pull up the zipper like this, and then you're good to go. Nothing super special about them. I like them quite a lot. They are, of course, specifically made for firefighters, so they can take a lot of heat. They are also pretty waterproof. They're not waterproof if I'm standing in the water until here, but for anything that you do with a hose, they are sufficient. Acid resistant sole, etc. So those are the boots. They're actually quite comfortable, so I like them quite a bit. Even when we do stuff where we wouldn't necessarily need to wear those boots, I still do it because, of course, the steel front protects my toes, but also they're just nice to stand in, so a good working boot. Next thing I wear are just ordinary merino socks. And for socks, I always find that merino is the way to go. And I just have them with all my gear. So even if I'm outside and I have a pager and I get an alert, or I get the text on my mobile phone that we have an alert, usually we get everything at the same time, then I can rush to the fire department, jump into all my gear. But on the way to the actual place where we have to be, I can sometimes put on my socks. And even if the time is not enough. If I'm only, well, barefoot in my shoes, then I at least can later change into proper socks, because yeah, that's pretty important. A friend of mine who is with me in the fire department, he jumped barefoot into the boots, and he didn't have socks with him, and it was something where from a construction site they had contaminated water running into a river, or a little stream, and we had to basically build an oil dam, and yeah, it took several hours. I think I was there for 5 or 6 hours, and his feet were really, well, just finished after that without proper socks. Then from the boots we go a little bit higher. Those are our pants, and maybe you can see, of course, they have reflective stripes so that we can be seen at night. They have pretty good knee protectors, because especially when you enter rooms where it is burning, you want to go on your knees so that the flames can basically go over you. Something similar to, well, basically a flashover that you saw in the intro. They're quite comfy. They're almost better than in my tactical pants, to be honest. I mean, they're really good. And besides that, there is nothing special about those pants. We have Velcro here, so not a zipper. Just ordinary buttons that you can push. And also a zipper that goes all the way down the leg. So if you're really having an alert and you have been in there, maybe even with additional oxygen that you have to carry on your back, it gets pretty warm. So all that stuff is super thick insulated, so you actually can stay in hot space quite long. But for example, in summer, if you're outside waiting for your time to go, then it can get very hot, and then you're happy that you can actually open up the pants and get a little bit of fresh air. Yeah, nothing else special about them. Yeah, just ordinary pants. Maybe a little fun fact. Our pants here, they don't have pockets. I don't know why, but our pants don't have pockets. Of course, like something like that, that's super useful, because the pants, I mean, they're pretty heavy. They stay where they are. And yeah, that's already it. Not much to say about them. I like them quite a bit. Now, the more interesting stuff, when it comes to shirts. To be honest, since you never know when there is actually a fire alert, I just wear whatever I wear at that moment under my jacket. Nothing special there. Also, if there is actually an exercise or something like that, even if I know that I'll be in and out of hot burning buildings for all of the day, I don't wear any particular upper body base layer, because you will be sweaty. There is no way around that with that gear you won't be sweaty. So for special occasions, of course, we have our fire department shirts. That's it. We wear them also when we go when we drive to the exercise and stuff. But yeah, that's about it. So surprisingly, I'm very picky about my base layers for mountaineering. I'm not so picky for the fire department. Now, the next a little bit more interesting thing is the jacket. And that's this guy here. So you can see, you also have a lot of reflective stripes, a lot of pockets for the radios and stuff. Of course, my name tag. And a few special things about this jacket I'd like to show you. I mean, first you have these extended cuffs. They are pretty useful, especially if you combine them with the heavy gloves, because they just seal up your wrist a little bit better, and you don't get that much heat. You also have to be a little bit careful with this stuff, because you actually can cut the circulation to your hands if you're overdoing it. So yeah, don't ask me why I know that. For this jacket, it has one speciality. It has a zipper in here, an ordinary one. But if you close the zipper up to the collar, like this, come on. Yeah, it's not so easy if nobody is in there. Now, it has a special device here, and I don't know if you can see it, but this zipper enables you to basically open the jacket by pulling the zipper upwards. That means if a firefighter would be injured and he still wears all the gear, you can open the jacket by not pulling the zipper down, but really pulling it up. And then you can do that every time you want, like this, and then you can just rip the jacket open. I found that to be a neat little detail. Yeah, super nice jacket. As I said, we have a lot of pockets and stuff inside. Most of my gear is actually in the outside pockets, and I'll show you in a second what that is. Here on the inside, I generally keep the keys, because if you drive for the fire department, you need the car keys. You might need the keys for the actual building of the fire department. And I also have my mobile phone here. Mobile phone is something that is generally, yeah, quite useful, even if you're out there deployed, because then you can communicate with other entities, may it be the Department for Forestry or something like that. You quite frequently need to talk to those people. Okay, then let's see what we have in the pockets, or maybe let's look at the heavy gloves first. Those are the heavy gloves. You can see they're tied together with a carabiner, and I have fixed that to another carabiner on my jacket. I usually only use them for anything where I need to work with a hose in action. So if I'm actually doing something where I need to spray water because there is a fire, then I'm wearing these. For anything else, for example, if there is a flooded basement or something like that, or if there was a car accident and you need to handle the big scissors to cut people out of the cars, I generally don't use those gloves, but working gloves that I also have with me, and they're here. So those are ordinary, almost gardening gloves. And yeah, they're super nice, especially if you have to connect the hoses and stuff. Works way better with those gloves with proper grip than it works with the thick insulated layer gloves. Nothing else special about these, just you have a reflective stripe also here, and they can take quite a lot of heat. I mean, I was carrying coal that was on fire, etc., and it was no issue with those gloves. Okay, then let's continue with looking at my pockets. Here I have a space blanket because it's important to keep people warm. I have a quick aid that's a little bit similar to an Israeli bandage. You can just rip it open and can, yeah, accommodate to most of the things. Then here on the other side, in this little egg, that's actually the inner part of a Kinder Surprise egg. I don't know if you have them, but those little chocolate eggs with toys inside, it's the inner part, and I have my latex gloves in there, my medic gloves. Then earplugs, because it can get pretty loud. And of course, because I'm in Switzerland, we have a big Swiss Army knife with different things in here. That's it. Nothing else so you also don't need much more. What we also have here are, is a big carabiner with a sling. This is meant to protect yourself against falling. I mean, everyone knows that you shouldn't fall onto a sling, right? But you can also just tie a hose. For example, if you're walking upstairs and you're on the top of the stairs, you can fix the hose to the top of the stairs, because a water-filled hose gets pretty heavy, and it makes life a lot easier if you can fix one part to the top of the stairs. So this is what we need this one for. Of course, a tri-lock carabiner attached to the jacket as well. Yeah, nothing else special about that jacket. In winter, you're glad that you can wear it because it really keeps you warm. Of course, you have the big print with fire department on the back. Nothing special so far. Maybe I have to say, fire departments in Switzerland are organized like the army. So you actually have soldiers, specialists. Well, we have guys that are called officers, right? So we have enlisted guys. I'm an enlisted guy. And yeah, in Switzerland, you can recognize officers. They have a yellow jacket. Yeah, fun fact. Okay, so much for this. Now let's get to the helmet. Before we do that, of course, you need a Balaklava that just protects your neck and everything. So it's good to have it, and you should take care if you're running into a burning building that really everything is covered by it, because it can get pretty hot. So good thing I have more than one, and yeah, I like it. Now the helmet itself. So I don't know if you can see it a little bit. First of all, it glows in the dark. It's pretty fun at night or in a dark basement, etc. It's really glowing in the dark. Yeah, and for demonstration purposes, this is how hard the helmet actually glows in the dark. You can see it's pretty red. I mean, I think the camera doesn't even do it justice, but it glows pretty hard. Okay, let's turn the lights back on. So now the helmet has different functions. On top here, it has a light that I can put on and off, and different strengths of the light. This is actually only semi-useful. It is cool if you do something at night outside of a burning building or something like that. So if you need to see the controls of a pump or something like that, then this one is pretty cool. If you're actually in a smoky room, you don't want to have a flashlight on the top of your head, because it basically shines against the smoke, and it's a little bit like putting on the big lights in your car when you drive through the fog, right? So it's better to have a flashlight actually here if there is a burning, or if you're in a room with smoke, then you have the flashlight here. Then it illuminates the area before you, but you can still see a little bit through the smoke. Okay, so the helmet is closed with a system where I just have a wheel here and can tighten and open stuff around my head. So it's pretty neat. The helmet itself also insulates quite well. So you have to be careful if you have been in a burning building, you take off your gloves and you try to take off your helmet. The helmet gets damn hot, so not a good call to do that. Then we have different things that protect our face. First, we have a glass that only protects, I hope you can see that only protects the area around our eyes. It's really like a pair of gaiters or something like that. And that's something we usually use if we're opening a car or something like that, right? Anything that could splitter and is only a danger to the eyes, we use that one. And whenever we are working with hoses that are under pressure, and if you never saw a hose that was not controlled by a firefighter but had pressure on it, I mean, it will go wild, right? You have a metal part in the front, so the actual thingy with which you spray the water. I don't know. We call it a gun. Yeah, the water gun. You have that in front. I mean, it weighs 3-4 kilograms. Sometimes if it's a big one, right? And the hose from the pressure is just going like this, right? So if that hits you in the face, you're done. So we have a big face shield as well with the helmet. I hope you can see that. Of course, the disadvantage, if you're breathing heavily, this one will fog up. So for everything where you're working hard, but you don't have the danger that something heavy hits your face, but only from splinters, the glasses like this are preferable. Okay, yeah, of course, you have something to also protect your neck from behind. Here on the side, you have different systems. And now we're talking for going with additional oxygen into our into a burning house. So when you actually have a respirator, there are respirators that you have to pull over your head, and then you tighten them, and then you put the helm on top. That's of course not so cool because you have to take off the helmet when you put on the respirator. And what we generally want to do is we want to enter, for example, a burning building, and only when we are really at the border of having smoke, only then we start breathing through the respirator, because then the oxygen will just last longer. And that's an advantage of this helmet. We can actually clip our respirator masks to these side parts here. They just go in here, go in here. So you have the helmet on your head, you put on the mask and then just clip it in, and then you're good to go. So it's something that you can easily do without taking off your helmet. Okay, that's it already for personal gear. I know there might be other fire departments who have more. There might be fire departments who have less. Lately I was a week on a fire department training, and I actually saw people running around not with proper boots, but still with rubber boots. That was a little bit surprising. But yeah, if you're interested in more about firefighting and this stuff, leave me a comment below. I can show you one of the big cars, I can show you our tools, shouldn't be an issue at all. I can show you how our respirators work. We have all that available, and if you're interested, yeah, as said, let me know, I'm happy to do so. This is just the first test to see how you actually like the stuff. If you didn't until now, please follow the channel. That helps a lot. It's also a huge motivation to see all the people that are watching the videos and following the channel. Give us a thumbs up if you like this stuff. I really appreciate that you took the time watching this video. And yeah, have a great week, and I'll see you next time.